Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Amy plays Case of the Gorgon's Kiss, and then Nick plays Humility. After that, Amy kills 3 of Nick's creatures. After Case of the Gorgon's Kiss is solved, what are its characteristics? Okay, so like all continuous effects questions, step 1 will be to determine which layers each part of each effect acts in. So in layer 4, we have Case of the Gorgon's Kiss, changing its types to be a Gorgon creature. Then in layer 6, we have the case wanting to give itself lifelink and death touch, and Humility wanting to take away all of its abilities. Then in layer 7, we have 2 effects that want to set the power and toughness to either 1-1 or 4-4. With that done, we'll just go through step by step each layer and apply the continuous effects in the proper order. Layer 4 is easy because there's only 1 effect, so the case will end up looking like this. The next layer is where we get our first complication here. There are 2 continuous effects to apply, and we go by timestamps to decide which one applies first. But it's not obvious which of these continuous effects should have the earlier timestamp. Case entered before Humility, but it didn't get solved until after Humility entered. If we take a look at how cases work, we can see that as far as the game is concerned, it's sort of like the case was worded like this. Alright, so if that's the case, we'll check out this rule here, and we'll see that the appropriate timestamp for the case's continuous effect is the time when Case of the Gorgon's Kiss entered the battlefield, not the time when it got solved. Therefore, that ability will apply first since the timestamp is earlier than Humility's. Accordingly, Case of the Gorgon's Kiss will gain lifelink and death touch before Humility takes away all of the case's abilities. So after we apply everything from layer 6, Case of the Gorgon's Kiss would look like this. And now we're up to layer 7, and this is where the other complication comes up. Maybe you were thinking that this would be another easy one like layer 4, where we only had 1 continuous effect to apply, but no such luck. The Case of the Gorgon's Kiss continuous effect started to apply in layer 4, meaning that it will continue to apply to the same set of all objects in all subsequent layers, even if the ability that generates that continuous effect gets removed. This being the case, we will actually have a repeat of layer 6, where there are 2 continuous effects and we apply them in timestamp order. Nothing has changed about the timestamps, so we again apply the 4-4 first and the 1-1 afterwards, meaning that the Case of the humble Gorgon's Kiss will look like this after all continuous effects are applied. Now, I'm sure that some people out there are really wondering about what might happen if we changed up the timestamps. And the answer is it works just like before, except that the timestamp bits are in the other order. So if Humility came into play before the Case of the Gorgon's Kiss did, layer 6 would give this result, where the case would end up with lifelink and death touch. Remember, the case's continuous effect started applying in layer 4, which means that it will still be able to apply in layer 6 and 7, even though Humility took it away. Likewise, in layer 7, the power and toughness setting will also be in the other order, so the final power and toughness would be 4-4. This is a pretty interesting interaction, ending up pretty similar to Humility plus Opalescence, if you remember that one. Honestly, I feel like it could be pretty interesting to cover that interaction with the case also thrown in for fun. Maybe an interesting idea for a future daily ruling. That's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling. Until then, I hope you have a great day.